Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being with us. Oh, because... Wait a sec.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, this...
Good morning, Americans. It's Friday.
I mean, that just can't happen, where that doesn't...
I mean, technically,
It's
right?
got to start... Well, kind of Friday, but I keep thinking it actually is
there's
Friday.
no doubt about that.
Are you too?
Yes. I'm excited. Long weekend, big football weekend. I'm good to go. Let's go.
Big football weekend.
I know. I'm excited. We got Missouri and Arkansas on Friday.
Whoa, what a big game.
We got Ohio State and Michigan and your BYU Cougars Saturday night. Ohio State, Michigan.
USC.
Afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Big week. A big college football weekend.
That is. Cougars must win. It's a must-win game for them. They moved up to 13th in the college football playoff rankings. It's asinine that they're not at least top 10 right now. That's where they should be. At least. Maybe number 2, number 3, right after Georgia.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in the just above Georgia or right below, maybe tied. Tied with Georgia for first.
If they were there, it would be a magical season for them.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that would be quite the magical season. So I think, speaking of college football, I think Ohio State might be on such a roll right now.
They're on fire, man.
Jeez.
They're
scary.
They're going into the big house Saturday afternoon. It's going to be
10,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, capacity
111.
they claim is 107. No way. 113. They're going to call it 113 something, I get probably on Saturday. That place is going to be packed. And if Harbaugh goes down to Ohio State again in Ann Arbor, they might carry him out of the state right then.
It's possible.
All 113,000 fans.
Yeah. I don't know how he's survived this long, really, at Michigan.
He's had good seasons.
He's had okay. It's Michigan.
I know.
You need to do better than that.
I know.
So, we'll see. I mean, it's the battle of top tens.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting.
6-2. Mm-hmm. That's a huge game, man.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Ohio State might be at least as good as Georgia, maybe better. I don't know. We'll see.
Man,
we'll see.
Georgia's looked really good every week.
They're both going to be in the playoff. I mean, that's almost a certainty. So it'll be interesting. They may meet up here, and we'll get that decided.
But we've got Alabama and Georgia before that game will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, for the SEC
which is another big one.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks, right? Not
yes.
this Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Yeah. So, 9 days? 8-9 days? Something like that.
I know.
That's less than 2 weeks.
Nobody cares about this weekend. Move that up.
Oh, I do.
Well, I do too, but I mean, we've got the battle line rivalry, Missouri and Arkansas.
That's the one everybody's talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere without hearing the battle line
rivalry. Missouri Arkansas.
Hey, because you could throw
Missouri's
out
ranked
all
top
the
25. And Arkansas's ranked top 25.
There you go.
And Missouri, I mean, they got one of the best running backs in the country, Tyler Batty. One of the best, Jeff Coate, the defensive lineman, one of the best ones in the country. I mean, let's go. I'm fired up. MIZ, baby.
Fired up.
We're already going to a bowl game. We've won 6. Mm-hmm. We've caused one coach to get fired. What more can we do?
Which coach? Florida's.
Yeah, Mullen.
Yeah, the last straw was losing to a crappy Missouri team. Okay, now that's it. That's it.
Wait.
You lost to Missouri. Bye-bye. We'll tolerate a lot of stuff, but we won't tolerate a loss to Missouri.
Having none of that.
Yeah. All right. The show is actually a jam-packed one. We might have 15 and a half minutes to jam into the next 2 hours. I don't know. It's close. It's going to be close. There's a lot of stuff going on. Newly released January 6th video appears to show Capitol Police beating a woman to death. A woman from the protest.
Really?
From the rally and the protest, Roseanne Boyland. They appear to, beat and kick her to death. She was 34 years old. They had claimed up until this video, Yeah, she died of a drug overdose.
Oh.
Did she? Is an overdose brought on by kicking and punching her? Is that how she OD'd?
Of shoes.
An overdose of violence, maybe. I don't think it was drugs. So really strange. I hadn't seen that. I don't know where the video came from, but they said it was just released. And there were some commentators that had witnessed sort of in the background and were claiming, but nobody believed them. And then out comes the video.
Well, that's the thing. We've got how many thousands of hours of video that they won't release?
And is that why?
I bet it certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. It might seem to clear things up as to how everything unfolded.
Certainly changes a little bit of the narrative for the day democracy almost died.
Because people who were there, gathered there, tried to administer first aid. Somebody was, trying to give her CPR. Others were just screaming at the cops, "You're not one of us. You're not us." And how bad it was that you just murdered her. You just killed her. And so the cops are just standing there. Yeah, well, don't come here then. It was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bizarre. So I don't know what those, the other footage is going to reveal, but it's obviously something they don't want anybody to know, because if this supports their case, we'd see this video, and we would have seen it a long time ago.
That's for sure.
Like, I don't know, January 7th, the video would have been released. Look at these heinous Trump supporters doing what they do. Well, okay, let's see it then. Let's see it.
Let's see it.
Why would you keep that from the people? They certainly haven't kept some of the videos that supports their claim and their agenda. Let's see the rest.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, it's interesting, to say the least, that we haven't been privy to thousands of hours of video.
Right.
Taken by numerous people, and probably some of the angles are going to come from the Capitol monitoring system itself, and it's just fascinating that is not happening. Just really quite fascinating. Also, there was another anti-Asian hate crime on a subway in Philadelphia. Authorities say the Philadelphia subway attack on 4 local high school students was unprovoked and based on ethnicity. 4 black teenage girls in Philly were charged Thursday in an attack on a group of Asian high school students riding a train. Philadelphia District Attorney's Office charged the suspects from 13 to 16 with aggravated assault and ethnic intimidation.
Good.
How many times have we seen this?
Good.
I'm having a hard time understanding what the deal is with these black youth and Asians.
And Asians.
It seems that many of the incidents that, at least that I've seen, that have been caught on video, have been blacks administering this, these assaults on Asian people. So I don't know what's prompting that. I don't know what the deal is, but it's pretty obvious. They take one of the girls. They're actually screaming, this group of girls at a group of teenage boys who are Asian. And then an Asian girl comes up to defend the guys and say, "Hey, stop." So they take her and start beating her.
The crap out of her, yeah.
Ah, man. It's really disturbing.
It is. It's not pretty. I remember watching it when, however long ago. It could have happened 2 hours ago. And I mean, I watched so many videos that make the threads of these and of different things that happen. I'm like, okay, I can't watch. There's only so many violent videos, even for me. There's only so many I can watch. I watch it. I mean, I do. I'm not looking away, but I am. But after I watch it, it's like, okay, well, I've already seen it. I don't want to continue to watch this guy get his head kicked in.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I don't really like getting that stuff in my head because I just sort of obsess on it, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, well,
it just makes you sick. You're just sick about it. How people can do that to each other.
And a lot of those videos, I find myself asking, well, if I were there,
would you do
you'd
something?
have to step in.
You'd have to.
I would have to.
Sure as heck.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Knock it off.
in this case, looked like nobody around him
Yeah,
intervened.
that's what. Yes,
The Asian girl was the only one who intervened.
Yes.
And they made her pay. And nobody else wanted to take that chance, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. Are there not adults on this train that could maybe intervene and put a stop to it?
I don't know.
I don't care what color adult. Just somebody who has some common sense, decency, a little bit of courage. Jump in there and put a stop to it.
The only person that's involved is the person videoing it.
Yeah.
Documenting. I guess it would be documenting this horrific crime. Mm-hmm. Right. And no, they're not just video. They're not just doing nothing. Yeah. They kind of are.
Yeah.
They kind of are.
Yeah. Well, more than kind of. They are doing nothing. They are doing absolutely nothing. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The fallout from the Kyle Rittenhouse trial continues. I mean, there's some rioting. There's some looting going on.
Yeah, there have been.
Because, well, you had a trial verdict. So, obviously there's got to be rioting, right? I mean, that just goes without saying.
I really...
It's the post-trial riot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Time-honored American tradition.
Right, because the system worked.
Yeah. Boy, it did this time. It sure did.
For many people, it appears that the system, because we didn't, I guess, drag him out of the courthouse.
Mm-hmm. And string him up right there.
Then so the system is broken.
And that comes from people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't have any idea what happened during that trial. They don't have any idea what happened that night. Apparently they've not watched the videos. They haven't seen the evidence, which is overwhelming that the not guilty verdict was the only one you could reach.
Well,
that was it.
And the people, what the cause of that night. I mean, we talked yesterday about, maybe in the long run, Kyle maybe shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean.
But
we're already past that.
You can't do anything about that.
We're already long past that. But that whole night was a mostly peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit of violence.
Sure. Yeah, and some fires. Fires.
A couple of
that the prosecution couldn't figure out why Kyle Rittenhouse would want to try to put out a fire. That's one of my favorite exchanges of all time from any criminal trial I've ever seen on TV or in real life. So you stopped to help put out a fire? That is correct, sir. Why would you do that? Because it was a fire? Fire burns. Okay, and sometimes that causes damage to buildings. Sometimes it causes damage to humans. So,
yeah, I mean, and that's why he was there, right? To render
help.
assistance and to help and to stop. He was guarding a lot, and he was saving that. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you were in the middle of it and something was on fire, you have to help. Right? You have to do something. That's the same as the beatings on these trains and stuff. I mean, if you're there, you have to.
I think so.
You have to stop and help, right?
Yeah, definitely. We have a timeline. Twitter timeline.
I mean, it just shows. It starts in the beginning and it gets a little long and a little. Couple of the shots last longer than I really wanted, but you get the idea of the Rittenhouse timeline, really, of how he's been treated,
Proud white supremacist and domestic terrorist carrying an illegally obtained weapon of war that he was too young to be in possession of, and worst of all had carried across state lines. Kyle Howard Rittenhouse. His mother dropped him off with a snack bag and some extra ammo tucked into his backpack after their road trip to Kenosha from Illinois. The one-man militia finally found his targets, crouched down on one knee to hide, and looked through the scope of his big-ass machine gun. He then opened fire on the innocent protesters without mercy, an act of blatant terrorism. However, Good men do not sit and do nothing in the face of evil. And these protesters Kyle was facing off with were the greatest men this country had ever seen. Joseph Rosenbaum, known endearingly by everyone as JoJo, a father
Mark
who loved
Ruffalo.
children.
Pause it for a second. Actor Mark Ruffalo. What a dumb douche this guy is. He is one of the dumbest douches of all time.
He has been. I mean,
he's got about half the intelligence of a bathroom bowl brush. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. That's an insult to bathroom bowl brushes. He's got about 1/100th of the intelligence of a bathroom bowl brush. Roll that back a little bit if you can to his tweet. That is absolutely phenomenal. How can you not be just embarrassed to even show your face in public after this?
He's not even close. That's not even anything close to him being embarrassed, man.
Not at all. He doesn't care. Can you not take that back?
Known endearingly by everyone as
Okay, pause it
JoJo.
right there. I love this. Mark Ruffalo, Hollywood big shot, movie star, moron. We come together to mourn the lives lost to the same racist system that devalues black lives and devalued the lives of Anthony and JoJo. Oh, wow.
Reimagine.
Wow.
Kenosha.
That's powerful. Is that the same JoJo that, yes, raped a 9-year-old?
I think it is.
Yeah, it's the same JoJo. Rosenbaum was a child rapist. And you're celebrating and coming together to celebrate that life. Good for you. Wow. Seriously, you're not embarrassed? You're not part of the Me Too attack? Because how can you not be? How can you not be when you're supporting child rapists like that? Well, they'll say, well, he didn't know that they... And they won't even say that because they don't even acknowledge it yet.
Right.
Even though all that information has been available for some time now, they just ignore it. So he'll go on his merry way and make millions per movie. Just amazing. We'll get back to that video in just a second. First, let me tell you about iTarget Pro. If you love your firearms, there's nothing better than getting a little. Well, there's some things maybe that are better. Birth of a child comes to mind, but shooting your firearm is fun. It's one of the awesome events in our lives that we have the freedom and ability to do. But with the cost of ammo through the roof right now, here's a cost-effective, safe, and simple way to practice. Rather than going out and buying all that ammo, if you can even find it, super expensive, instead get iTarget Pro. iTarget Pro comes with all the things you need to practice safely in the comfort and privacy of your own home. Instead of putting bullets into the chamber, you just put a laser bullet, which shows you where the shots land on the target, but also makes it obviously safe. And you can bring the kids in and show them how to shoot, allow them to handle the firearm safely. No more inconvenient trips to the range that are really expensive because, well, first of all, the range fees are expensive. And then you got to buy the ammo. iTarget Pro comes in all the major calibers, including .223 for your AR-15. You can stay sharp with anything you own. Go to itargetpro.com, save 10%, plus get free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. 10% off and free shipping. Smartest way for you to practice. Pays for itself in one day. It's the letter I, then targetpro.com. itargetpro.com, offer code PAT.
Pat Ray.
All right. We got this Twitter video that's going through a lot of the myths surrounding the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Mark Ruffalo talking about how absolutely doing tributes to the child rapist and the other guy who I believe had a record as well.
Yeah, they all had. They
all
all
of
did when
them.
their pictures came up. Yeah, they all had records underneath them. Yeah.
In fact, were the pictures mugshots?
I think they were.
They might have been.
I think they were.
They might have been. And it still doesn't dawn on these morons. Look at that.
Convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon.
All of them. All three of them. Now, that's not a reason to shoot them, but it shows you that these guys shouldn't be glorified. And they all tried to kill Kyle Rittenhouse.
Another thing that shows is the white supremacist actions of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, look at these guys in there. Right.
They, I don't know, those pictures may mislead people to think that they're African-American black males, but they're not.
I don't know how you get there from those pictures, but okay.
I don't get
Isn't
it.
one of them redheaded?
That's possible. That's possible, yeah.
All right, let's see the rest of this.
Ever seen. Joseph Rosenbaum, known endearingly by everyone as Jojo, a father who loved children and had his whole life ahead of him, chased the KKK Grand Wizard down the street.
My gosh.
Earlier that day, Rosenbaum had in fact said the N-word and asked to be shot. But as a black man, this was entirely acceptable for him to do.
What?
There weren't?
Wait. What? Yeah, so Rosenbaum, in addition to being a criminal, was also probably, very mentally disabled because he was yelling for people to shoot him. Shoot me, shoot me. And he used the N-word. But he's not black, as the...
Right, and Kyle even addresses that in his interview with Tucker, I think, is where he talked about how because he was hollering the N-word all over the place, he was being separated. They were everyone was distancing themselves from him because they all said, "Ooh, that guy's a little crazy." And, we need to get away.
Yeah, and clearly he was crazy.
Yeah.
But now he's being deified, which is just bizarre. It is so bizarre. Was that the extent of the
I guess so.
of the timeline?
I thought there was a little bit more, but that's fine because it does point out the
lies.
What's the word? Stupidity. Yeah, we'll go with lies.
Stupidity.
We'll go with
lies. There's lots of words you could use there.
Go with that.
It's just pathetic.
Yeah.
Did you not read anything about this incident?
Nope. Not at all. It was all part of having to do with the shooting of and the murder of Jacob Blake. Oh wait, no, I mean just the shooting.
Yeah, they can't even get that right.
Right. It's just amazing.
I don't know why they picked this particular event to latch onto so strongly when it's a white shooter and even if you don't know the ethnicity of the people he shot. Why would this be the thing that I guess because you do believe that first of all it is tied into the Jacob Blake and most people do believe on the left anyway that he shot black men.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's no other reason for them to even be interested in this. You got a white guy on white guys. It's white on white crime. The left shouldn't be interested in the least in this story.
No, they should not.
Right? Except as a gun rights or a gun control story. Look, here's another mass shooting. She killed 2 and injured 1. Only from that angle.
Yeah,
but they're not even talking about that. That's really not the issue for them.
No, it isn't. And I know Rittenhouse attempts to make the case that it was a self-defense issue. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, it was to him.
Yeah,
no question. But the overall conflict or people that were upset about it really didn't have anything to do with the self-defense thing. It was
not at all.
It was all race. It's amazing.
It is. It is shocking. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. New Hampshire high school football player has been suspended. A lot of stories revolving around football. We had the story of the Small Fry League, who wouldn't allow the best team in that league to participate in the playoffs.
The Flower Mound Rebels.
They're too good, and that's right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In this case, New Hampshire high school football player was just suspended because he had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to say that there's only 2 genders. I don't think suspending him is enough. I think he should go immediately to prison. How dare you say that?
That is awesome. Does this kid even go to school? I mean, did he just sneak onto the football field?
Well, he's obviously skipped biology class. I'll tell you that
Thank
right
you.
now. Okay?
Thank you.
He needs some education here.
Now, was he shouting it on campus everywhere? Was he going around town with his bullhorn and shouting "There's only two genders"?
Think so.
Because I don't think it was. I think it actually, if I remember the story right, and I thought I don't have it in front of me, but
is.
I remember the story. He was asked about it.
He was with two friends on a bus after school.
That's right, because they're trying to say that some of the argument is that he wasn't even on the school campus when it happened, but he was on the bus, and that's school property.
And I think the school
make
owns
the argument
it. So,
with that.
Yeah.
So, but that's right.
And he was on the bus. They were arguing. They were talking about using Spanish third-person pronouns to refer to themselves. What a weird discussion.
Just high school kids on a bus.
They're probably Spanish students.
Right.
And they were talking about Spanish third-person pronouns to call themselves when a female student overheard the chat and interjected that there are more than two genders. So he responded, no, there's only two genders.
You
to
bastard.
Her. Yeah. Can you imagine? On a school bus he said this. Other kids heard it. We can't abide it.
And they didn't.
The student pressed the kid who claimed there were only two genders on the topic and demanded, give me one valid reason why there's only two genders. Look around you. How about that?
What do you see?
Come on. Everybody pull down their pants. Let's see how many different genders there are. Let's see. You got an innie or an outie. There's two possibilities here. So that's my evidence. What do you think of it? Then the two boys had a contentious exchange of texts on the issue afterwards, which, I mean, the school, I guess, has every right to go through the texting habits of these kids, right? This is asinine. It's unbelievable. So the texts allegedly were turned over to the administration. The lawsuit states that they were turned over to the school's administration and that the assistant principal and the athletic director and varsity football coach pulled the student filing the suit out of class and told him that he had now been suspended. They stated that the texts showed that the student now suing the school was not respecting pronouns and that he needed to respect how people identify.
Okay, but that wasn't what they were talking about.
They were talking about two genders.
Yeah. No, I mean, but they weren't on the whole thing started with, it wasn't pronouns. About, they were joking around about using the Spanish pronouns, right?
Yes.
And so, but the conversation was not how do people identify?
Right. They were talking about whether or not there's two genders.
Right.
There's only two.
Okay, there's a huge that is a difference. There is a difference in the identification and the actual science of it.
Right.
Because the science of it
is pretty indisputable,
cut and dry.
Yeah, it's indisputable. But to tell a student that, I'm sorry, you're not respecting pronouns. I have to respect pronouns? No, shut up. I mean, in today's world, don't care
in the
about
school,
your
you
pronouns.
have to, right? I mean, if Millie wants to, well, you do though. You have to.
No. How about no? This is just ludicrous. The paper said one of the head coach allegedly said he was suspended from playing football for a week, which was later reduced to one game after the student's mother told the coach her son did nothing wrong. He also was punished for using inappropriate language like, get this, bozo and STFU. Shut the F up.
In a text. Now he's in trouble.
Which is none of your stinking business.
Right.
As a school administration.
Gray.
Yes. What? And? So? Welcome, 888-933-93. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We're Talons and Arrows tweets. Tomorrow at 1 a.m., don't forget to set your scales back 15 pounds as we return to Jeffy's daylight weight reduction savings time.
That's not a bad plan.
15 pounds. Plan. That's, wow, that was generous of them. That was really generous.
What do you mean?
Well, if we're setting our scales back, to compensate in the transition from you to Keith, that needs a 0 after it, at least. Like, maybe 2 zeros.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I don't know that sure. Is the daylight weight reduction savings, but okay.
All right, Rowdy Introvert tweets. Maybe that night was set aside as a set fires night only, and Kyle showed up on the wrong night as the put out the fires night was the next day.
Oh.
Yeah, he might have missed the specials, the riot specials that were going on. Hippie Patriot tweets, Gage Grosskreutz is suing the town of Kenosha because the police didn't protect him while he was illegally possessing a handgun and protesting at a riot calling to defund the police. You just can't make this stuff up. How true that is, as some would say, like me, for instance, true dat. True dat. All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like Friday. It is Friday in my head right now. I don't know how that happened, but but it's really actually only Wednesday. Jeffy is here, so let's chew the fat.
All right,
with Jeffy momentarily. But
yeah, we gotta.
First, we have to allow them to do their
thing.
They're genius.
Stuff.
Almost there. Almost there.
Okay.
All right.
A little holiday travel information. If you're planning on traveling this weekend, if you're planning on going to Ann Arbor, Michigan, the football game Saturday against Ohio State.
Is it in Ann Arbor or Columbus?
Yeah, it's in Ann Arbor.
All right.
The big house, man. 113,000 screaming fans, tucked in shoulder to shoulder, spreading COVID. That game, it would be a huge game. But if you're going there, all public restrooms will not, I repeat, will not have free menstrual products until the first of the year. So you're gonna have to buy them for this weekend. The city council,
that's outrageous.
The city council unanimously voted to pass an ordinance requiring all public restrooms, including those located inside businesses, to offer the pads and tampons as well as toilet paper and soap for free. But that doesn't go into effect until January. That should be in effect immediately. But if you go against it, though, it could result in a fine of up to $100. So you don't want to mess with the city of Ann Arbor.
Nope.
More on travel. Americans have been warned not to travel to Germany as it undergoes its worst ever surge in COVID-19 infections. The U.S. State Department issued its level 4 travel advisories with a do not travel warning for Germany as well as its neighbor Denmark over a very high level of COVID-19. The same day that earlier this week when the U.S. issued this warning, German health minister gave a prediction as the EU's most populous nation has been devastated, according to this health minister, by its 15th consecutive day of record numbers. Probably, this is a quote from the German health minister, probably by the end of this winter, pretty much everyone in Germany will be vaccinated, cured, or dead.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. Facts are facts, no matter what country you're in.
Vaccinated, cured, or dead.
Okay. That's correct. And just another little side note, this is a big travel weekend. People are already starting to leave. And I don't care how long the line is to get through TSA. I don't care how long the line is to board. I don't care how long they make you sit on the tarmac at the gate. I don't care how long they make you sit at the tarmac at the airport that you land at, whether it's the correct one or not. You shut up, you wear your mask, and you be thankful. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear any other information about people upset about flying.
Right.
Don't be taking it out on the flight attendants, okay?
Good advice, Jeffy. Good advice.
Thank you. An Alabama engineer took inspiration from his childhood to break a Guinness World Record for building the world's largest Nerf gun. Michael Pick of Huntsville, a software engineer and YouTuber, earned the record by building his version of the Nerf and Strike Elite Longshot CS6. Measures 12 feet 6 inches long. That's 300% larger than the original toy, and the previous record holder was only 6 feet long. There's some video of him testing it. He test shots shooting a cup and a pumpkin and a watermelon.
Wow.
Right?
So it's powerful, huh?
It is very powerful.
Wow. That's fun.
That would be...
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Awesome. Yes.
Wow.
I know.
I want that.
Now
How much is it? Look at that!
He loads and shoots for the distance. He takes it out.
Jeez.
He takes it out and he loads up. He shows you how big the...
Pushed to the far back with an aluminum rod.
All right.
Now that we know how it works, let's see how far it can shoot.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
There we go.
Whoa.
I know.
3, 2, 1.
It's amazing it actually works, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
So how far? Do we know?
Yes. 250 feet.
Okay.
250 feet. He also, it goes on...
Not quite a football field, but almost.
Right. And it talks about full power. He shoots the long ones with full power, and you watch him here as he loads up. That's what he shot for the 250 feet outside, a smaller version.
1,
and then
2,
inside.
3.
That's at 80 psi.
That's just good, clean fun right there. Just good, clean fun.
So then he does the full power. And,
so you could really hurt somebody with that if you shot at close range at a
Absolutely.
human?
It launches the darts made from PVC pipe, foam, and 3D printed caps. Wow. 12-inch darts. Those are the big ones. They shot up to 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
And the long one you saw, the short ones that they shot 250 feet. That would be fun.
Yeah, it would.
That would be fun. We've had some great. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is full power.
Right now, and if anything's going to get through, it's probably going to be that dart. 1.
A cinder block.
Full power.
He's got a cinder block. Oh my gosh! You got to be kidding me. Wow. That is something else.
I'm guessing that would be, we used to have Nerf wars in the neighborhood and in the house. I mean, we still have, I got like a half a dozen of those little dart guns around the house. Those might actually hurt a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they would.
The little Bobby comes home with his giant
yeah. I hate to think what that would do to you.
Yeah, the neighborhood.
It just broke up a cinder block. And it'd go through that would do damage.
I know.
To a human.
Yes, it would.
Wow.
Yes, it would. But it's the Guinness record Nerf gun. And
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. It's really something. It's cool. As long as nobody gets hurt, that's really cool.
Right. But, I mean, if the kids were having a Nerf war and you rolled that out of the garage, the war would be over.
You might want to go home.
Yeah.
It's time to go. You know what? My mom said I had to be home 5 minutes ago. So.
Gotta go. Look at the time. We also, coming up this weekend here at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, have a big concert and pay-per-view going on. The Triller Fight Club presenting the Triad Combat at Globe Life Stadium. It's a new combat team sport in which they incorporate boxing and MMA rules in a triangular ring for 2 minutes. 2-minute rounds featuring professional boxers and professional mixed martial art fighters, and it's going to be a big pay-per-view. Metallica's going to be there Saturday at Globe Life Field. Plus, they're having this new Triad combat card in the triangle, instead of the octagon. And they have new rules, and they show, you can't kick, you can hold around the neck, and it's just a different way of fighting. That's all. It'll be worth, might be fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially with Metallica.
Yeah.
Worth $20 on the pay-per-view.
Metallica fan, aren't you? Love them. Can't get enough of their stuff. Can't get enough of it.
I like them.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Mm-hmm.
You have a commercial to do you want to read? Or?
I actually do.
I know.
Yes, thank you for asking.
Why don't you go ahead and
actually
do that?
do. All right.
You're going to tick me off with the Metallica.
In fact, I really want to tell you about this new documentary called Enemies Within the Church. It's a movie that the compromised evangelical establishment doesn't want you to see. Enemies Within the Church exposes those who are selling out the church to postmodernism, and they tell you about the money behind it all. There's been a hostile postmodern takeover within conservative Christianity. Postmodernism includes agendas. Glenn talks about this all the time. Agendas commonly known by the terms social justice, intersectionality, critical race theory, and neo-Marxism. So this movie rocks the boat in a really good way, presents the truth that's long been needed to be told. There are, in fact, enemies coming into the church. The problem doesn't merely affect the church around the corner. Postmodernism is not just hurting the more liberal denominations. It's everywhere. No denomination is safe from this nonsense. So if you want to understand it, know what to do about it, then make sure you watch Enemies Within the Church. It brings together Christian voices from across the nation and the world. And a lot of people in the church are just past the point of asking whether the seemingly leftist, postmodern figures within mainstream Christianity are trustworthy. They're not. Every Christian and patriot needs to see this film and then share it with everyone you know. I encourage you to buy the DVD or purchase the PPV streaming at enemieswithinthechurch.com. That's enemieswithinthechurch.com.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
And more Chewing the Fat with Jeffy.
Yes, and that is a Chewing the Fat daily podcast you should subscribe to. It's available wherever you get your podcast. It's that time of year again. Want to get paid $2,500 and get a year's worth of streaming to 7 different streaming services?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be great.
I thought so. Well, you can take on the role of Cheermeister along with the 2,500 smackaroos. You're going to get gift cards to cover Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, and Hallmark movies now.
And what do I have to do?
Well, you have to go to reviews.org and sign up.
Okay.
You must already have a device compatible for streaming.
I do.
Several. You're going to have to watch. You don't need to rub it in.
Yeah, well, I'm bragging right now.
You'll have to watch.
I have more than one device. like that's an
compatible for
thing.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch 25 holiday movies within 25 days.
Oh, I could easily do that.
You'll have to fill out a short post-movie survey.
All right.
Did it give you warm holiday cheer, sense of nostalgia?
Does it have to? Do I have to write a nice review, or can I?
No,
I can be honest.
Okay. They want you to be honest. It's reviews.org.
All right. What else?
Now they're going to be the applications are being taken now until December 3rd.
Okay.
All right, and then they're going to announce the selected Cheermeister, which could be you, on December 10th on their YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe.
And only one person is going to get this?
One person is going to become the Cheermeister. But on the day that they announce the selected Cheermeister, that could be you. Come on, you've got multiple devices.
I do.
Available to stream.
Yeah, I do.
They're going to give prizes to 5 winners that include streaming devices. They might give you a free one to add to your collection.
Nice.
And 1 year streaming subscriptions, and they're going to give away a smart TV. So not only are you going to get 1 year another streaming devices, but TVs as well.
Nice.
So good luck. That'll be
Thank
fun.
you.
They gave a list of movies, and I don't have them in front of me now, but they didn't mention Christmas Twist. I'm a little ticked off about that.
Probably an oversight. I'm sure that's one of the 25. Probably a typo in there.
I hope so. I'm telling you that. And we have also last week I mentioned about the Haitian refugees, wondering, hey, what's up with them? Why haven't we done anything? Well, we now know that the 2 of the captives that were kidnapped have been set free. They haven't confirmed the identities of those released or the circumstances surrounding their release, but 15 people are still being held hostage in Haiti for well over a month. I mean, we know that the 400 Mawazo gang demanded $17 million for their release. We don't know if they gave them any money for these 2 that they released, but remember the gang leader who demanded, I swear by thunder that if I don't get what I'm asking for, I'll put a bullet in the heads of these Americans. So we'll see. Anyway, I love the story as they talk about what's going on in Haiti. Security has declined in recent years. At the assassination of the president. Earthquake, lack of fuel.
I'm surprised. Really? In Haiti? Are you sure?
That's what it says.
Sure you're talking about the right place?
It says more than 800 kidnappings have been reported in the country.
No.
That's what it says. It said in the story.
I'll not believe it.
Wow.
I'll not believe it.
It's dramatically declined. Security in Haiti.
That's really surprising. Shocking.
I know.
Shocking. Next, you're going to be telling me there's some kind of unrest in the Middle East, and I'll not have it. I won't have it.
All right.
This is too stunning of information to really process right now. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Good morning, Americans. It's Wednesday. But it feels like Friday. I keep thinking it's Friday.
Play the clip then.
No, because it's really not. And well, it kind of is.
Good morning, American.
All right.
We're off tomorrow.
It's Friday.
Thank you.
Okay.
And we're not
sort of.
Yeah.
Again, sort of. It's really Wednesday, but it's like a Friday for most Americans, I believe. Now, if you work at a store that's opened on Thanksgiving because they've decided that there's nothing better on Thanksgiving than to give thanks by spending money.
Target's decided they're closing, though, now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Target's decided where they're closed now.
Don't even start with me on Target. I can't take Target, and what their wokeness is just out of control.
Definitely are, but they've decided they're going to be closed.
But good for them for
on
giving their employees
right.
the day off. That's nice.
I mean, it did used to be. I remember when I was working in the grocery business, Pat, and back in the day, we were closed on. They were closed 2 days a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
That was, you would those were the days you were closed. You work late the night before every time, and then that was it. Have a nice day. You're off.
Heaven forbid you close on Easter, holiest day of the year. No, I'm sorry. We gotta make our cash on Easter Sunday.
I've got chocolate bunnies to sell, my friend. No, that's
right.
not happening.
Not happening.
No, that is not going to happen.
I gotta sell those baskets with the green stuff at the bottom of it to simulate grass that ends up all over your house.
It makes the basket look so much fuller.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. If you're looking for a good realtor because you're about to sell your home, there's nobody better than to go to Real Estate Agents I Trust and find your agent that way. Because these are experts. They're really good at what they do. These are this is the all-star team of real estate agents. And so they'll be able to advise you on whether or not you need to repaint your house or just leave it like it is and let the next people do it if they wanted a different color. That's kind of where I am. We're kind of thinking about selling our house.
Really?
But we had a realtor come in and, the one who helped us last time. And so she's like, yeah, everybody wants it to be white. Yeah, I don't want to live in a house that's bland like that.
Right.
I don't want to.
Plus, if they want it, they can do it.
Yeah, let them do that. Let them spend a bunch of money and repaint this thing. Have their house filled with that smell for months.
Oh, I like the fresh paint smell.
It's a little strong for me. A little strong. But then, they can advise you on whether or not to replace the countertops and all of those things. And what are you going to get your money out of? What will be a good return on investment and what won't be? These are the experts. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
The good news is that our grocery stores are well stocked.
Yeah.
For
they are.
For
they?
Turkey and everything. And the president was quick to let us know that yesterday in his little speech that he gave.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he also mentioned about opening up the reserve.
Yes.
For the oil, which would be great.
Right. That'll be good.
Great.
Do you know that we're going to pour enough oil back into the system through opening up the reserve to last, get this. I need a drum roll on this. It's just, it seems too good to be true.
It does. It does seem too good to be true.
The oil reserve that they're about to release will last America a total of 3 days.
I got
3 days.
I think that's high.
3 days.
Because I think that's with using the pre-pandemic.
It is
levels,
a little
right?
bit high because we use about 20 million barrels a day, and they're releasing 55 million, right? So it's not quite 3 days, but it's almost. It's like 2.5 days.
And we used it.
So stop your belly aching.
During the pandemic, we were using 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And so, regularly we used 20. Around 20 or a little, whatever. So, I mean, I think 3 days is pushing.
It is a little
But,
bit.
I mean, still 3 days.
3 days. I don't want to hear you whining about it. I don't want to hear it. Let's hear him, though.
I mean,
talking about it because
these clips are about his Thanksgiving, and he is how good things are.
Oh, things are really good. I want to hear it.
Also met with the CEOs of Walmart, Target, Home Depot, TJ Maxx, and others. Those retailers, large retailers, and others agreed to move products more quickly, stock their shelves more quickly.
Yeah.
And by the way, you may have heard the CEO of Walmart yesterday on the steps we've taken. He said, and I quote, "The combination of private enterprise and government working together has been really successful." He went on to say, all the way through the supply chain, there's a lot of innovation. Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change. End of quote. In the past 3 weeks, the number of containers sitting on docks blocking movement
has gone up.
Are down by 33%.
Bull crap.
Shipping prices are down 25%. More goods are moving
Shipping
more quickly.
is down 25%? Pause it for a second.
No way shipping prices
in what
are down
world
25%.
are you living where shipping costs are down 25%? Wow, that's not the case in my business. I'll tell you that.
That's not the case when I've tried to ship something. I'll tell you that.
We just restructured things a little bit so that we pay the shipping cost now. So it's
nice.
It's added in. And
what?
Yeah, it's added in.
What kind of shady business are you running?
The kind so shady that I was just transparent about that. Some of the cost is added in, not all. With the ingredients that have gone up, with the shipping costs that have skyrocketed, and he said it's down 33%. Shut up, you lying sack. What a lying sack he is. There's no way that's true. But yeah, so we restructured it a little bit, raised the prices a little bit, but we did drop the shipping because shipping is the most expensive part of this.
Sure.
It really is.
For all of these companies, I mean, shipping is exorbitant.
Murderous on a business that ships things. Now, if you come to the store and you buy all the stuff that you get and you don't have to do the shipping, that's different. I'm sure.
As a
for
side note,
storefronts.
I mean, are you selling shoes or
no?
what
No
are you
shoes
selling?
at all. No, we're cookies.
Oh,
yeah, cookies.
Oh,
yeah, we sell
So
really
is
delicious,
there-
probably the
is there
best
a-
cookies on the planet.
A lot of people have said that.
Yeah, a lot of people have said
And
that.
these cookies are called
Kexi cookies.
Kexi.
Kexi. Kexi.com. You can go there. And right now, we're going to drop this special edition box on Friday, Black Friday, 2 days from now. And you want to sign up on the waiting list because these cookies are for a limited time only. There's only so many, and then they're gone. And then that's it. And then we just go back to the regular. Well, we still have, you can't actually buy the regular dozen if you want as well. But Kexi.com, if you'd like to do that. They are worth it. They're delicious, right?
oh my gosh.
I mean, they're really, really good.
Absolutely awesome. Yes.
And I'm not bragging about this because I don't make them. My wife does. And it's just a product that is so good.
It's so good.
That I have no qualms in talking about how quality it is because it's of the finest quality there is.
Look, this may come as a surprise to you, but I've had more than one
wow,
since your
really?
company has opened. Yeah.
Yeah, with your athletically overweight figure, I wouldn't have guessed there was more than
you
one.
have to eat for energy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
I know.
That's how it works.
Right. Okay.
Just saying.
All right. So good. Okay. 888-900-3393. Anyway,
Dinglehead.
where were we? We were on Joe Biden.
Yes.
All right. Let's hear it.
And more cheaply out of our ports, onto your doorsteps and onto store shelves. And so all these concerns a few weeks ago, there'd not be ample food available for Thanksgiving. So many people talked about that.
So many people
Understandably.
talked about it.
But families can rest easy. Grocery stores are well stocked with turkey and everything else you need for Thanksgiving.
Everything new.
Really?
And the major
Everything
retailers I
else?
mentioned have confirmed that their shelves will be well stocked in stores this holiday season. And that's good news for those moms and dads who are worried about whether the Christmas gifts will be available. It goes for everything from bicycles to ice skates.
Never mind that you're paying 20 to 30% more for your food. You're fine. That's fine.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Never mind the price of everything has gone. It's skyrocketed since last year. It really has.
I mean, he goes on. I guess we do have a clip of him talking about why we have high gas prices.
All right. Let's hear that.
The big part of the reason Americans are facing high gas prices is because oil-producing countries and large companies have not ramped up the supply of oil quickly enough to meet the demand.
Yeah, like us.
And the smaller supply means higher prices globally
Pause it for a second.
for oil.
We're the biggest oil producer in the world. Does he understand that? At least we were when Trump was in office. The biggest oil producer in the world. We have more reserves than Saudi Arabia. We have more in the ground than Saudi Arabia and Russia. This is more oil under the ground in the continental United States and Alaska than anybody else anywhere in the world has. There is no reason for us to have to rely on anybody else's oil. There's absolutely no reason for it.
But
it's absolute madness.
We do have to, reach our net zero emissions here.
Oh, are we going? Is he about to tell us about that?
I don't know, but I know we have to reduce our dependence on foreign fossil fuels and all fossil fuels.
Yeah, we had already done that, and then he reversed it. We'd already done it, and he reversed it. Let's see the rest of this.
I also want to briefly address one myth about inflated gas prices.
All right.
They're not due to environmental measures. My effort to combat climate change is not raising the price of gas or increasing its availability. What it's doing is increasing the availability of jobs. Jobs building electric cars like the one I drove at the GM factory in Detroit last week. For the hundreds of thousands of folks who brought one of those electric cars, they're going to save $800 to $1,000 in fuel costs this year. And we're going to put those savings within reach of more Americans and create jobs installing solar panels, batteries, electric heat pumps, jobs making those clean power generating devices. And by the way, deploying these technologies for each home where they're installed is going to save folks an additional hundreds of dollars in energy costs every year. Let's do that. Let's beat climate change
do that.
with more extensive innovation and opportunities. We can make our economy and consumers less vulnerable to these sorts of price spikes when we do that.
No, you know what would make us less vulnerable is opening up the Keystone Pipeline. That makes us less vulnerable to price spikes.
It?
Yeah. Yep. And stop the restrictions on oil companies and where they can drill. Open up Anwar again in Alaska. Drill offshore. We've got so much oil. There is no need for this, but they don't want to drill it because they're so married to this climate change bull crap.
I know.
And we don't have an alternative, really, that will compensate for all of the oil that we're not extracting from the earth. There's no way we can fill that void right now with wind and solar. It just can't be done.
Correct.
Now, when we can, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't care. I'm not married to oil that comes out of the ground. The problem is that's what we have now. That's what we use now. That's what our economy runs on. And so when you just eliminate it or part of it and you don't have anything to replace it with, then you run into problems.
Big time.
Then you got rolling blackouts.
And think of the frustration that we're going to have when we have rolling blackouts, and the vehicles that are going to help us get back online for the power companies are electric, but they can't charge.
Yeah, right.
So it will take even longer to get the power back online.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Think of the money you'll save on your power bills because you won't have
any power. Yeah, there's no electricity in your house. You won't have to pay for electricity.
Huh.
So there is that.
There is that.
Right?
There is
your power
that.
bill goes down. So, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, so shut up. Quit your belly aching. All right. So much great food coming up tomorrow. And all the desserts that we eat this time of year that are full of calories and sugar. And, it's once a year, and then there's Christmas and New Year's 2-3 times.
And there's January and February.
When you still have the leftovers and you're addicted to the sugar intake, and so you keep doing it. Or
then it's springtime.
Or right. And it's Easter, and you need candy and stuff. Or you could go a different way and have some Built Bars and replace some of the, super caloric intake with 180 calories or less. 4 to 5 grams of sugar and carbs or less. In a slice of pie, a normal slice, probably 500, 600 calories. Built Bars are only 130 calories up to 180. So these are actually good for you. 18 grams of fat. I mean, they're made with 100% real chocolate. They're low calorie, low fat, low carb, and high in protein. Built Bars, they're a great option for any time you're hungry. If Thanksgiving isn't coming soon enough, like it's tomorrow, but you're hungry today, go get a Built Bar and eat it right now. Jeffy was just doing that yesterday as he was recording his show.
I love them.
What, you're on your 4th or 5th? 6th?
Maybe at 6th.
And maybe share them with your family. Check the site often. They've got new limited time flavors that are arriving all the time. Go to Built.com. Use the promo code PAT15. You'll get 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com.
What number do people call to get on the air? Do we have that number?
Why, yes, there is a phone number you can call. 888-900-3393. It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. It is. Yeah, very interesting. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We were just talking about energy, and Biden was babbling about how there's nothing he can do, nothing we can do, really. It's essentially what he was saying.
The president has no control.
I had no control on that. It's from the oil-producing nation. Yeah, we're an oil-producing nation. He makes it sound like we're completely dependent on Saudi Arabian oil now, or Russian oil.
He certainly is making us that way.
We got, when Trump was in office, the Saudi imports that we received were so minimal, like less than 1%, I think it was. And now, who knows where it is? We should look that up and see how much that's increased. But the thing is, they want to stop oil and stop producing it.
Correct.
And switch us to some other fuel that doesn't exist.
Right.
At least in the quantity that we need to replace fossil fuels, what they consider to be, and I don't, fossil fuels.
But I digress.
So when you have the alternative and it's ready to replace fossil fuels, let's do it. I'm fine with. I don't care.
I don't think
who's married to fossil fuels. Well, the CEO of Exxon, but other than that,
I would disagree with that.
I know
as well.
they don't act like they are.
No, they are definitely are not.
Caved in to the other side of this.
They have all bent the knee,
and all they talk about is renewable fuels and how hard they're working on solar and wind. Okay.
Are you?
Or whatever. The real shame is, we could have been producing nuclear power in the last 50 and 60 years. Instead, what happened? 3 Mile Island that killed, what was it, tens of thousands of Americans?
I think it was hundreds of thousands.
Maybe millions. Millions died along the East Coast.
I don't think the state of Ohio exists.
Nobody died. Nobody died from 3 Mile Island, but some of the residents nearby did receive radiation that amounted to 1 chest X-ray.
I don't think it was that. I don't even think it was an X-ray.
It was a chest X-ray. 1. But because of that and the Goofy movie, which I liked at the time, but it pisses me off now, China Syndrome with Jane Fonda. The movie China Syndrome. And why do they call it China Syndrome? Because when a nuclear plant melts down, it melts all the way down to China was the... That's why they call it the China Syndrome.
Right. There's no stopping it.
So that movie scared the crap out of everybody.
The hole in the earth.
And then
where a tree once stood.
The goofy environmentalists took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
And we stopped doing nuclear power plants, because everybody was afraid of nuclear power.
And we did
was going to kill us
the other
all.
Susan Sarandon one too, right? That was filmed here.
Silkwood.
Yeah, Silkwood.
Was it Susan Sarandon?
Yeah.
Or was it Meryl Streep?
Oh, maybe it was.
I think it was Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Silkwood was filmed. At least part of it. I don't know if all of it was right in this building, which is really kind of cool.
There.
Yeah, right there. So, nuclear is renewable. Nuclear is efficient. Is clean, and they wouldn't even consider it. So, I mean, that is something we could have turned things over to, and it would have handled the load. We could have produced untold amounts of energy with nuclear power, but we didn't. And so here we are in this situation where we got no alternative to fossil fuels that at least that can fill the void.
We had aired some clips from President Biden yesterday on things are so wonderful and not his fault, but I want to be sure that he tells everyone happy Thanksgiving and how good things are going to be for you and your family, and maybe he'll answer some questions.
As you gather together with your family this Thanksgiving, I want you to know how grateful I am to serve as your president. And I promise
Pause
you
it for a
I'll
second.
never stop
Why does
working.
his face permanently look like he just farted?
He looks like
looks
death.
What am I smelling? Did I just fart? Because I got this squishy face now.
I mean, he does not look well.
He doesn't.
He
Because
does
he's
not look well. But I will say,
he's not well.
I will say, if you search, which I just did, Biden Medical, Biden Medical, because I wanted to find. I was reading the actual medical report that the White House sent out after his checkup update. And we know that his ambulatory gait is perceptibly stiffer.
We do know
and
that.
less fluid than it was a year or so ago. We do know that. But if you just search Biden Medical, quite healthy.
Quite healthy.
Quite healthy. And that picture right there of him.
Yeah, doesn't he look it? Doesn't he look it?
Healthy.
All right, let's hear what else this picture of health had to say.
To address your family's needs.
Okay.
And together we're going to confront challenges that we face them. We're going to face them honestly.
Okay.
And that will keep building this economy around hardworking folks who built this country. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you, and may God protect our troops. And I'm heading to a food kitchen to serve meals right now. Thank you for your time and effort. And I'll have plenty of time to talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna walk off with.
I wanted to watch the ambulatory gate.
Right, I'm gonna walk off with that stiffened ambulatory gate.
They're hollering at him. CBS reporter is asking, when are you going to answer questions? Nothing, man.
I won't answer when I'm gonna answer questions.
Nothing.
That would be answering a question, and I don't answer questions. But I do have a perceptively stiffened ambulatory gait. You may have noticed over the last year. But that doesn't mean anything because I'm still vigorous.
Pat Gray. Now back to Pat Gray on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome to it. Got some tweets here. Carl Smith tweets, Pat, are you really that far out of touch? I mean, how quaint. Expecting to hear truth spoken on school property. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, an old school thing, isn't it? Thing of the past.
It is.
Free exercise. I don't respect pronouns. I toss them around at will, use them, and forget them. In conversation, I never call a person they. I persist in saying you. I don't say bozo, but I've been known to privately call certain politicians morons. Not sorry. Man. Well, just like Reese's. Not sorry. Ambulatory giblets tweets. It's difficult to use Jeffy and scale back in the same sentence, but Pat is a professional. And yeah, that's right.
I don't know why that is.
Somehow I pulled it off. Also, ambulatory giblets also tweets Brandon's to-do list. Kick people out of the military for not being faux vaxxed. Reduce the strategic oil reserves, which he's done a great job of, and invite countries to invade America.
There you go.
Ta-da!
I mean, we've asked the question before, really. I mean, when you think about, when you say, man, it's almost like they're trying to destroy the country.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself.
And then you think, well, what would they do differently if they were trying to destroy the country? And you realize nothing.
There's not.
So they're doing everything they can. You know, give them some credit. They're doing everything they can to bring about the destruction of the United States of America. Jules, queen of the Patheads, tweets, with all this clean energy, how much can we expect our electric bill to go up? You think gas prices are high? Yeah, that's...
Oh, I know.
That's for sure.
I mean, the Dollar Tree is no longer going to be the Dollar Tree.
No, isn't it like the $1.25 tree or something? Yeah. Are they going to change the sign?
I don't know. Probably not.
$1.25 tree?
Well, until it breaks $2, it's still the Dollar Tree.
That won't. I mean, that could be right around the corner. Breaking $2 at Dollar Tree.
So you end up being the couple of buck tree.
Yes, right. Did we finish up with all the President Braindent stuff that we had?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think that was...
I do not. I'm not a fan.
What?
I'm not a fan.
You do realize you're talking about the office of the presidency, don't you?
I am not a fan.
Wow.
I do.
It's a strong statement.
I know.
Not a fan of the president.
I'm not. I am not a fan. I am.
How about his wife?
Dr. Jill Biden.
Dr. Jill, yeah. Are you a big fan of hers? Because I'm frankly not.
Holy cow.
I know.
You're not nearly as smart as I thought you
were. And the vice president, not a fan.
Oh, man.
Speaker of the House, not a fan. Let's go down the list. These are awful people.
They sure are.
These are awful freaking people. They are, in my opinion, the worst people to ever run this country.
And they've been
the worst to ever run it.
We've allowed them to be in office, aside from Kamala, although she's been in office, maybe not nationally, but for a long time too. But nationally, Biden,
50 years. Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi's 30 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face? Senator Dingle face from
Chuck
New
Schumer.
York. Yes, Schumer.
Yeah, got to be 40 years.
40 or 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
All those, they have just been in way too long.
Yes.
I mean, but it's Trump's fault who was in office for 3 years.
Yeah. It's actually 4, but yes.
Whatever.
I know what you're saying. It brings up that question that we talk about all the time. Why don't we have term limits? And it used to be, my answer was, we do.
We do.
They're called elections. But it's not working out. It's not working out. So I advocate for term limits now. And the other thing that I talk about all the time that is even more important, I think, get them out of Washington, make them legislate from their own district. When they need to get together on a vote, they can do it online. Come up with do the blockchain thing to secure their votes and make them vote from their home district where they're around their constituents every day. And I guarantee this problem goes away. Almost every problem we have goes away.
I'm all for it.
While they're cavorting with each other and lobbyists in Washington, D.C., we're just going to have corruption. Just nonstop corruption and decisions and votes that they don't care about what you think at all. But when they're among you, they're going to care what you think.
Huh.
Yeah. So term limits, make them legislate from their own district.
Just gut check. Stop.
Yeah, it'd be terrible for them. It really would. And then they're not away from their families all the time. They're back with their family where their family can give them a thought or two. Where they're not just cavorting with the little interns that are running around in mini skirts looking like they're pole dancers. It would change everything. It would absolutely change everything.
I don't know that I'm a fan of that, actually. But go ahead with the rest of it.
Have you ever been in the Capitol building on a business day? Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. All right. Let's talk about this psychotic a-hole from MSNBC. This MSNBC guest that took on the Pilgrims and really America yesterday. Left-wing race-baiting MSNBC host Tiffany Cross handed over the essay portion of a recent episode of her Cross Connection to a favorite guest so that he could share, as the show Chiron blared, quote, the real history of Thanksgiving in America, unquote. And I'm sure their audience was really pleased to hear Gayassi Ross launch into an anti-white tirade. And he tried to shred the mythology of Thanksgiving and accused the Pilgrims of bringing only genocide and violence and declaring that minorities are still waiting for white Americans to bring some value.
Wow.
That's amazing. I mean, that is amazing. Yeah, white Americans have brought no value to this country at all. I mean, that's pretty clear. Ross wasted no time in jumping into his racial attacks on whites and Thanksgiving. But this is perfectly fine, I guess, to have this racist babble about how terrible white people are.
Of course it is.
And how bad America is. He said the mythology of Thanksgiving closely mirrors the mythology of America. That mythology is the image that white Americans love to see of themselves. That mythological image of whiteness, in his mind, is one of benevolent white settlers coming to a strange land in good faith and bringing something of great value that enriches the people who are already there. And the natives in the Thanksgiving story also offer something of immense value to the myth, Ross continued, equal exchange. That, according to the thinking of this guy, closely mimics the mythology of white America. It's how America wants to see itself. But he sees the truth of America is quite different. After noting that the Pilgrims did not bring turkey, like anybody doesn't know that. Really? Do we really not know that? Sweet potato pie or cranberries to the Thanksgiving dinner.
You mean they didn't stop off at the Walmart on the way?
No. Well, they couldn't. As he correctly points out, they were broke. Yes. Yes. Ross went on to explain what the Pilgrims actually did bring to Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So buckle up for this. Okay. Instead of bringing stuffing and biscuits, those settlers brought genocide and violence. Did they? That genocide and violence is still on the menu, as state-sponsored violence against Native and Black Americans is commonplace and violent white supremacy is celebrated and subsidized. I just can't take it. He went on to list minorities who have been murdered by those paid to protect us. White Americans are still killing Native and Black Americans with no fear of reprisal. What? Seriously? Let's look at the numbers there and see which ethnicity kills more of another ethnicity and which doesn't. Because I think you might be a tad mistaken on that.
There's some fluctuations in the numbers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, the Pilgrims are really the only entity who ever kept every treaty, literally, every treaty they ever made with the Indians. They never violated in 50 or 60 years. Not once did they violate one of their treaties with Indians, with the Native Americans.
I don't know that I knew that.
They did. They were not violent. They were not genocidal. They did not try to kill the Indians. They actually got along pretty well with the Native Americans. And here's a group of people that, they didn't bring turkey to the first Thanksgiving. They were starving to death. Jeez. That first winter killed over half of them. Over half. It killed, I think it was 3 out of 4 of every mother. 75% of all the mothers among the Pilgrims were dead after the first year.
So there were no charging stations or anything anywhere where they could just plug in and heat up?
No, there really weren't. And yet, when Captain Jones wanted to get back on the Mayflower and sail back to Great Britain or Holland, where they actually came from, he asked the Pilgrims to come with him. He's like, okay, we tried. It didn't work. Look how many of us died. It's just this is too brutal. We can't, the winters are too cold. The summers are too hot. Let's go. Let's leave. And do you know how many Pilgrims went with him? Went back? 0. Not one. Not one Pilgrim went back, took him up on it, and left back on the Mayflower.
They were the survivors, man. They were, let's go.
Right. That's right. And they were committed to this, and they were committed to building something really special here, which they did. And they did not commit genocide on the native population. That was not Pilgrims. They did not do that. The lies have to stop. They just have to stop. And it's amazing that the lies just get propagated and promoted on MSNBC and CNN. It's despicable. It's despicable. I don't know how they're allowed to continue to do it. Somebody has to step up and say, do you want to stop with the lies? You want to maybe, I don't know, look into this a little bit. Read some history. Stop with the listening to just these radical left-wing extremists. I mean, every white person is bad.
Oh, yes.
And every white person, listen to this guy. He would commit genocide if he could, I think, on the white race. If he could eliminate the white race, he would.
And he's not alone.
No, he's not. No,
he's
that's
not
true.
Alone these days.
It's absolutely
because
right.
of things like this being promoted. It certainly spreads the lies and the evil hate.
Right.
Clearly,
yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting.
And to do it on Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving, it's despicable. All right, let me tell you about another thing that has to stop, and that's abortion. Abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States and around the world. Since Roe v. Wade, was that 72 or 73, over 62 million babies have been aborted in the U.S. alone. It's over 1 billion worldwide. Nearly 1 in 4 pregnancies end in abortion. So we're long past time that we should do something about this. So that's why it's so great that the Ministry of Preborn is partnering with us at the Blaze Media to help rescue 10,000 babies by the end of this year. And you could be a big part of that. Preborn is direct competition to Planned Parenthood, and they're the largest provider of free ultrasounds in the United States. Why does that matter? Because when a woman sees the ultrasound, they understand that, oh my gosh, that is, I can see the baby. That's human life growing inside of me. That's a person. It's a human being. And 80% of the time, they choose life after seeing the ultrasound. That's why Preborn partners with clinics in the highest abortion rate cities and regions and gives free ultrasounds to the women who will look at them. It's $28 to sponsor one ultrasound. You could save one baby that way. I think it's $144 the $144 where you could potentially save 5 babies. But help us rescue with whatever you can donate. Help us rescue 10,000 babies' lives. To donate, just dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. It's really time for us to get together and do something about this. Pound 250, keyword baby, or go to preborn.com/Pat.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
Instead of bringing stuffing and biscuits, those settlers brought genocide and violence. These nasty pilgrims.
Hate them.
Oh, man.
Hate them.
It's just pathetic. It's pathetic.
So we had the double asteroid redirection test.
Oh, this is cool.
DART takeoff last night.
This is cool. They launched a missile at a comet, right? Or an asteroid. It's an asteroid, yeah. So the asteroid is hurtling toward us. Now, they don't expect it to hit us, but
correct. It's a test run.
But it's big enough that it has an orbiting asteroid around it. Did you know that? And I think it's yes. I think that's the thing we're trying to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it launched last night, and we've got where we got the video where it took off, and then once it reached where it was supposed to go, the booster came back and landed perfectly.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Was that a SpaceX thing?
Yes.
Was it really?
Yeah, the Falcon. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool. And so I'm hoping that I guess it takes a little bit for it to get there.
I think it's a little bit. 10 months.
Yes.
Yeah, 10 months. Yeah. It's not a 3-day tour.
Right?
A 3-day tour.
And I see the headlines talking about the real Armageddon. No. It's not the real Armageddon. I mean, in the documentary, Armageddon, Earth is going to be destroyed.
Right. That's not the case here, fortunately. But we're trying to test out something in case that ever happens.
Right.
Can we divert it enough, its path toward the Earth, that it would miss the Earth? So I don't know. It's going to be traveling at, I think I read 15,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's traveling toward the asteroid at 15,000 miles an hour. Then it slams into it, and they hope to just divert it enough that it changes just a fraction of its orbit right now around that thing.
I mean, we know from the documentary why we sent Harry Stamper and his crew up in the documentary to drill.
Yeah, to drill into the asteroid, but it was very difficult
because
for them to do that.
We learned that if you hit an asteroid straight on like that, like he used the example, you're putting a firecracker in your hand.
Yeah.
Right. If you open it up, you're fine. But if you close it,
right.
Your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life. That's why we drilled. So this is
because when you drill down and you put then you put the missile in it.
That's right.
Then it's got the close fist and it's going to blow to pieces.
Correct.
Right. That's not the case here. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to bump into it.
I know. It's like putting a firecracker in an open hand. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah. So we'll see if it works, but we won't see the results of it for 10 more months.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I don't know that they're watching this in real time anyway. Will they be able to track it? How far can they? I mean, do they have Hubble watching it the whole way? How are they going to know?
Yeah.
Because, this is millions of miles away from us.
Right.
Millions of miles. So, should be interesting, though. This is a first ever for the Earth to kind of venture out and see if we can stop any kind of space threat to the planet. It's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
That we can at least do this. But, you're not going to normally have 10 months is my thought process on that.
Right.
You're going to see, oh my gosh, this thing is right there and it's coming right toward us. We got to act like, I don't know, now.
Right.
Right now. And it's got to get there like tomorrow or 15 minutes from now. And we're not going to be able to do that.
Right. I mean, that was the point of the documentary, too. There was only a short period of time to get to it. To get something out there and train.
Right.
It's just, they didn't have, but this has to travel 6.8 million?
6.8 million miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the 10-month journey. So,
jeez.
We'll see.
It takes 10 months to go 6.8 million miles?
Right.
Huh? Because it takes, I thought it was a 6-month journey to Mars.
A few minutes to begin 10-month journey into space, some 6.8 million miles. Yeah.
Mars is a heck of a lot further than 6.8 million miles. Why does it take less time to get to Mars than it will to this asteroid? Very strange. I don't know
the answer to that.
No. Maybe somebody can clue us in. Maybe we've got a NASA rocket scientist listening right now who can let us know why that is the case. Because it doesn't seem practical right now that we would be able to do anything about it. And again, this is just our first effort ever, so hopefully the technology will get better.
So cameras on the impactor and on a briefcase-size mini spacecraft released from DART about 10 days beforehand will record the collision and beam images back to Earth.
That's cool. So they sent a separate vehicle into space so they could film it. Wow.
Ground-based telescopes will measure how much the moonlet's orbit around the asteroid changes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
Okay.
I hope it works. I really do.
Yeah, me too. That'd be kind of cool.
I hope it would be very cool, and it might save a few lives if we're able to pull that off.
Kind of cool, and we wouldn't lose our chief driller.
Yes,
the
right.
guy that knows everything
right,
about
which was
drilling.
really sad in that documentary when
Harry
that happened
Stamper.
before, because that was 1998 when we lost Harry. Gosh darn it, I miss him too. I miss him, but we lost him. We lost him. A New York Times reporter went to Kenosha to report on. This was last year, to report on the burning buildings that the left claimed, they all have insurance anyway. It doesn't matter if they're burning down. They've all got their big businesses that all have insurance. They'll just rebuild. Anyway, so she went to Kenosha to find out if that was true, and she found out it was not. And was told that report will be held until after the election happens, because we don't want that damaging the election results. So she says until quite recently, the mainstream liberal argument was that burning down businesses for racial justice was both good and healthy. Burnings allowed for the expression of righteous rage, and the businesses all had insurance to rebuild anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you apply that logic, the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. is certainly insured, right?
And it has to be, right?
It's got to be. And I mean, I'm not encouraging anybody to burn it down, but what the heck? They've got insurance.
But apparently, if that were to happen, then democracy would die.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. But it does seem that those protesters were simply expressing righteous rage. But they don't apply that logic
they do not.
Evenly, do
not
they?
Not even close. No. Not even.
Because the problem is, not only is the logic not applied evenly, but it's not okay to burn businesses down, whether they have insurance or not. And who decides what's righteous rage and what isn't?
Well, not you, my friend.
Not me.
You.
That's true.
Whitey.
But I found it fascinating. We'll have to talk about this a little bit more on Monday. This New York Times reporter came up with some really interesting and seemingly conservative answers to her
Happy
question.
Thanksgiving.
Only on the Blaze Radio Network.